counselors, ladies and gentlemen, a really good evening to all of you here. It's my absolute pleasure to be with so many like-minded business owners in this room today. And a big thank you to the City of Charleston for having me. For many years, I've attended plenty of these events and I've looked up to those who've spoken here and I've come away inspired. I hope I can make this a valuable evening for you and you can leave with thinking about what can I do next in my business. When Selma first approached me to present today, I can say I was a bit nervous, but I was also very excited to share my story and my journey with you all. Thereafter, I'm only going to use the word we, because this is not my story. I know I was asked to present, but it's about myself and Mitesh, who came here together to fulfill our dream. So we moved to Australia about 14 years ago, newly married, just graduated, and all we had was a dream. It was to provide a level of dental service that was digitally driven. Our journey of getting even licensed in Australia was a journey in itself, and it only made us more resilient. That's how we could move forward. So we worked as employee dentists in Townsville, Queensland for about 3 years. We had our 2 lovely children up in Queensland. Having said that, until after that, the entrepreneurial itch got the better of us. We wanted to start our own business. So with 2 children under 2, we packed our bags and we moved to Adelaide. We knew no one in Adelaide. We purchased our first practice. It was called St. Clair Dental, just on Woodville Road, a couple of buildings down from the City of Charleston. We started with 2 of us, the 2 dentists, and 2 staff members. And that's when the fun of hiring staff started. It was only the beginning. So when we started the business, all we knew was dentistry. We did not understand business itself. It was something we learned on the job. So we participated heavily in the community as well. We got to know the people. We did childcare talks. I was actively involved with the Woodville Business Association, a fantastic initiative by the City of Charleston. It gave me a lot of insight, a lot of learning, a big platform. We interacted with the Woodville West Torrens Footy Club, another community club, and that was a lot of fun, and we're still partners with them. From accounting to bookkeeping, from understanding profit and loss statements, from managing team members and marketing, we learned it all. What we didn't know, I would attend events and a lot of events by the City of Charleston for that matter, just like the Minister mentioned, the advisory services. So if I were you, I would be taking advantage of all of those. I did realize that this is very challenging, but for me, the bigger the challenge, the bigger the opportunity to grow. Now, I learned in the early days that to own a business is no different to buying your own self a job, but that's not what I wanted. What I wanted was a business that was self-sustaining and profitable, a business that actually didn't need me. So just a few years later, about 4 years later after we started the Woodville practice, we started to get a handle on things. We understood business. We had a good flow of patients. We pretty much had hit a ceiling and we're thinking, what's next? We're ambitious entrepreneurs. So there we go looking for our next location. So someone said to us, why don't you open a practice in Manapara West? And I'm like, And I had people poking fun at me, and I'm not sure if it's appropriate to say here, but people often said, oh, you're gonna open a clinic in Manapara West? It's known as the land of the 10-pound pom. I'm like, okay, never mind. I did my research and stepped outside my comfort zone, followed my instincts, and we opened a practice. Within no time, that's in about 4 years, we outdid our own business plan. We went from scratch to about $2 million. It was a busy practice. We embraced social media marketing at that time. We're talking 2017. It was not that popular. No one in the health industry had a single ad up on Facebook. Instagram was not even popular then. And that literally only social media marketing got us to where we were with the Manapara clinic. So thereafter, the practice is ticking along, we're getting a handle on things, it's 2 years, and in 2019 I'm thinking, okay, I think I'm worthy of applying for some sort of recognition. So went ahead and applied for the Fast Movers Award, which is run in South Australia, and we ended up finalists in the top 20. So I was excited. And then a really nice friend of mine, she said she nominated us for the Telstra Best of Business Award. So I'm like, okay, she's put a nomination in, I'll just start the application. And guess what? Didn't even make it past stage 1. So I realized there's plenty of work to be done more. So So just as the dust was beginning to settle, so this is now 2019, early 2019. As I said, the Manapara practice was about a couple of years old. We got notice that we had to vacate the Woodville premises, literally overnight. Now, it's not an easy task to move a dental practice. It's very technical intensive. There's a lot of plumbing work and a lot goes in. Mitesh and I lost sleep for a couple of nights, I must admit. And then the positive man, he tells me, Anisha, it's okay. Every cloud has a silver lining. We've got this. So we found a new place on Port Road, and 8 months later, we've moved in. Now this was about end of 2019, and we've not even finished opening all these boxes. And then the global pandemic falls upon us with all the amazing lockdowns. And guess what? We work in the mouth. No one is at a greater risk at getting COVID than the dentists and the team who work in a dental practice. So with about 30 to 35 staff members at the time, my biggest goal was, I'm not losing a single staff member. I'm not going to make anyone redundant. Surely this thing's got to come to an end. Yes, we had to stand down a few people. Yes, the job grants were extremely useful. I don't think we could have survived. So thank you, City of Charleston. We made sure we made this happen. What I learned was it was being positive and having a really strong cash buffer. You never want to make yourself go thin. The lesson I learned that yes, turnover is vanity, profit is sanity, cash is key. And that really, really rang true for us that time. We used all our downtime during that first lockdown because we couldn't see patients. We did lots of training videos, we cleaned up the place, we opened up the rest of the boxes. We even made Instagram reels, we had plenty of fun. Thereafter, once the lockdown was over, we were in a fortunate place, and I do empathize with Melissa. She said with the gov, with all the 4 square meter rules. But as a dental practice, we actually got slammed. So we had so much pent up demand. We were overworked and highly understaffed. At the same time, in about 2020, by the time our team's about 35 staff members, I started my leadership journey. So I went to this leadership workshop in Sydney. I learned 3 things. One is to be hungry, to be hustling, and hence I still love coming to these events. So use these events to your best advantage, and to be humble. So what that taught me was that the value of the team and the culture, and me as their emerging leader, was never more important. So whether I spent my time just listening to an upset staff member, or whether I spent my time celebrating their birthdays, or whether I even just hung out in the lunchroom, chit-chatting about the weekend, that's the best thing to do. And sometimes as business owners, if we've got staff members, we tend to overlook these things. We're so caught up in our own day-to-day life and our own business that we're not thinking about our team. I also learned that we become the average of the 5 people we hang out with. And so this gave me the impetus to go join a global organization called Entrepreneurs Organization. Now this network provides me with the peer support that I much needed. We all know as business owners, it can be quite lonely. We often don't have people to share our problems with. And this organization, which also has an Adelaide group, it opened up my mind. It taught me to think big, to be bold, and it provided me with further leadership opportunities as well. I also learned that leaders are readers, and I became a big fan of that. So I spend every moment, I stopped listening to the radio. I only listen to podcasts and Audible now. I know it sounds really geeky. But these books have really helped me over the term. If anyone's listened to these people, so Simon Sinek, Tony Robbins, Brené Brown, they are my best friends, and their inspiring stories help shape my thinking. Right. So I also learned the essential traits to be a successful business owner is being a visionary, which most of us are, being extremely passionate and driven, problem solving in our business because that's what we do all day long, taking risks, which is massive, and being extremely responsible and accountable to yourself and your team. So in our lives, we tend to fault others. We sometimes fault our families. We might blame our circumstances. But in reality, it's not our surroundings. It's us in our own selves where the success sits. If we want that success, it's within us. We design our own destiny. That's what I believe. I've always believed in going above and beyond. Now, if one doesn't have the qualities, then you go find a team and surround yourself with those people. And that's exactly what we've done. Our team has grown and we've got an awesome team, and some of them are here today. I've got Rachel, Brooke, Suraj, and of course, my partner in crime, life and business, Mitesh, without whom running this business is absolutely impossible. We've got about 60 team members, and all of these guys, they handle it. In honesty, I'm standing up here and they're the ones who make me look good. So with the help of this awesome team, last year we took the risk of opening 2 clinics, one at Anglevale and one at Seyfert. And I remember early in the year thinking, how am I ever going to do this? But really, my input was minimal, and the rest was handled by this amazing team. This then led to winning the Telstra Best of Business Awards, and that was for outstanding growth earlier this year. Now, honestly, this award was not about a destination. This award is about the journey. I would encourage every business owner to nominate. You can self-nominate and apply. It really helps you introspect. It helps you look at various facets of your own business and to look at your own business with a bird's eye view and through a completely different lens. So outstanding growth, and this is, I don't need to really put this speech on, but if anyone's interested, you're welcome to listen to it on YouTube. Thank you, Brooke. Didn't need it there, but anyway. So outstanding growth, which is what we got the award for, it does come in many guises. And I believe the strongest reason for that is learning and training. That's one of our strongest core values. So over the period of 11 years we've had our business, we've now got 60 staff. We've invested in our people. We've trained them. We've empowered them to grow with our company. So we strongly believe that organizations are made of people. People run the systems, and that's what makes it successful. So if you're ever thinking twice, do I need this staff member? Should I outsource my books to the bookkeeper? Do it. I would say do it. It's impossible to do everything yourself. So what we do within our business is we train high school graduates to become dental assistants. We utilize the government grants. We put them through apprenticeships. They become dental assistants in about 12 months' time. Our administration team, they upskill to become managers and leaders. Some of our dental assistants have actually gone on to TAFE and become hygienists. And our dentists have become entrepreneurs. And I've got Dr. Victoria here, who's now partnered in one of our clinics to become the director over there. Yay. So So my personal journey has also involved constant learning, because constant stimulation is important for growth. Particularly me, I think it keeps me out of trouble too. I recently completed a postgraduate diploma in digital orthodontics. I've enrolled for some further study next year, which includes some further orthodontic study and also in an executive education program. So this quest for learning is reflected in our practice as well. It helps us stay at the forefront of our industry, and it helps us stay ahead of the game. Because if one wants to achieve business success, we want to stay ahead of the game. We want to think about what's going to happen in the future. So who hasn't heard of ChatGPT? Of course, we all have. And similarly, we've embraced artificial intelligence in various ways within our practice and our industry as well. I've got a few family photos. I know I haven't talked a lot about my family. I'm very fortunate. I'm blessed with two lovely children. They're now year 6 and year 7. Very independent. They know mom's not available a lot of times. They do their homework on their own. They wake up in the morning, they dress and feed themselves. So I'm very, very fortunate. So people often ask me, how do you balance work and family? I must admit, there is no perfect balance. So I was reading a book by Tony Robbins. This is a while ago, and this thing really stuck with me. He's talked about how, if you're going to a PT, the PT might advise you to do 10 bicep curls to really get those good biceps. And if one did the 10 bicep curls, you're going to get awesome biceps. But for the one who wants to win the competition, that person does the 11th bicep, however tired you are. So one has to go above and beyond to achieve excellence. And sometimes we must burn the candle at both ends. I often still tend to do that. So another little picture about myself and Mitesh. Of course, right now I've been talking about work, and all work and no play does make Anisha a dull girl. It was my dream that I do Mount Everest, the base camp trail. This is about 5 years ago. Lucky we went before COVID, otherwise we'd be stuck here. Mitesh said, yes, I'm happy to join, and we made it our mission. So we trained and we completed this. This was about end of 2018. That's something I like to do in my spare time. A lot of hiking, so you'll probably catch me at Mount Lofty on a Sunday morning. That's a little bit about me, and that's a little bit about our business in its current state. As you might notice in the photos, we're 90% women. Apart from Mitesh, there are maybe 3 or 4 other males in our practice. We empower all these lovely ladies, and seeing them flourish has indeed been very satisfying. So as we know, hiring women can come with its own challenges. We've got to work around their work-life balances. So we account for them having to pick up children. We have really complicated alternating weekly rosters, which Rachel handles very capably. So we do take it in our stride. A lot of our dentists who are female, they work part-time. But having said that, the place is full of energy, lots of empathy, and lots of awesome food in the lunchroom. So I'm nearly about to finish, but before I conclude, I want to take a moment to say thank you to my community here, to my community here. These are our lovely patients. They put trust in us 11 years ago when we started our practice. We would be nowhere without these lovely patients. And I strongly believe customer comes first. So tonight, I want to leave all you ambitious women with a thought. If you have dreamed, you can make it a reality. Yes, as a woman, we play a juggling act. We have it tough, but hey, who can do it better than you? We've all got this. So that's a picture of our team, and thank you guys for listening. I really do appreciate it, and thank you, City of Charleston.